Hare Krishna. Good morning.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimprandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakrurudinitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Gadadi Swapanantikam Indeyam Shri Guru Shayata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadhaitam Savadutam Parigana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahajanarayita Shri Vishaka Anvitam नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णकृष्णाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिते नाम्ने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशिकारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः वदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदाय ते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने प्रवर्तते हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते सप्ता काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौरभक्तगण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये कष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिं भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण so yeah we get on to our today's session in continuation of what Dhruva Maharaj responded when his spiritual master Narad Muni was instructing him. Actually, before even instructing, he was actually testing. So he was asking those questions which, if we are having a weak faith or if we are having a weak determination, we will just give up. Yeah. So that's what we were discussing last week, and being the chapter long, so we'll just go very quickly. What were the tests that he asked? Yeah, Nalmani was quickly. He's saying, don't be affected by honor and dishonor. Yeah, this is also what we learn from Bhagavad Gita and also other references from Bhagavatam. That Nalmani is saying, Sammanam and Avamanam. These are the two things. Yeah, so usually we want Samman. Wherever we go, there should be a respect. We always aspire for respect, and Avaman, where it is, then we don't want to be there. So man is such an important thing. But Narad Muni is saying one should be not affected by them. And this is first thing. But if you are so developed to understand honor and insult, then you should also know that honor and dishonor are both destined only for one's karma, only by one's karma. So if someone is respecting us or someone is not respecting us, uh, we usually think that it is about the other person, but rather it could be because of our own karma due to which we are enjoying or reaping the result of it. So dissatisfaction could be if you whatever you want, if it's not happening, if it could be because of karma. So it is about asantosha hetava and moham, yeah, due to previous karma. Nija karma bhi. Because of these things you are affected. So if one is intelligent, uh, the person should be satisfied with whatever he has, whatever is coming, what is favorable. Understanding that, okay, this is a next level. Yeah, maybe we are thinking that no, karma, there is something beyond karma. Then he's saying, according to the Ishvara Ichcha, Ishvara Gatim Daivopasaditam. So whatever is coming as the mercy of the Lord, if one is accepting that, then person is happy, person is satisfied. Otherwise, he will not be happy. And then, so as intelligent person is satisfied in that way, Narada Muni came to Dhruva under the direction of Lord, uh, just to initiate him, Yet he is testing Dhruva's destination to execute the process. So, in this context, we discussed also that just like a disciple is checking his compatibility, can he really, once he takes shelter of the spiritual master, can he really serve? Yeah. Can we real is he my spiritual master whom I have lost connection from the past life or past times when, yeah, you never know. But the same, the guru is also a guru is also very much serious to scrutinizingly check whether the disciple can mm, serve uh, him. Yeah. So why? Because spiritual master is serving his spiritual master, and it goes to Lord Krishna. So Guru is, though compassionate, in that compassion he definitely wants to check that does he has the required qualities. Hmm? So in that way he's checking. It is very difficult to satisfy the Lord whose mercy you desire by the process taught by your mother. Your mother told Bhakti Yoga, but it's not so easy. Narad Muni, though he is Uttama Adhikari, right? So to say, in always remembering the names of the Lord, always traveling and preaching, and but Narad Muni is saying it's very difficult. And how to convince or his argument, he's saying many mystic have undertaken this path of God realization, uh, even by samadhi and by austerities. Despite trying this process for many births with detachment, they were not successful. And therefore you should give up your endeavor. One who endures any condition of life, happiness or distress, offered by the Supreme Lord, can cross over the darkness of nescience. So in that way, here is saying that this way there is this guarantee. At least the guarantee is that you can cross over the darkness of nescience. A person who endures this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very easily. And now comes, every man should act like this. Yeah. Last week we were discussing how to act. When he meets a person more qualified than him, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate toward him. And when he meets someone equal to him, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by threefold miseries of this material world. Huh? Why? Because if we see seniors and elders on this path, by pleasing them, they will be pleased, and when they are pleased, they help us in um, crossing over this ocean of nescience. Just like if someone is crossing a bridge, and if the other person has already crossed, he can extend his hand and give support, and with that, we can make our way out of that and cross over the bridge. So after hearing all this, so it's very nice that Narad Muni, of course, who is also here, a person more qualified than him, than Dhruva Maharaj himself. So we may see that it's so nice that Narad Muni can simply Dhruva Maharaj can simply take his instructions to whatever capacity one can do. Yeah. Usually, if someone is telling something, we don't oppose or we don't say no, I won't do it. But here, Dhruva Maharaj is doing um, uh, yeah, when we are now going through the response of Dhruva Maharaj, we see that he is saying, for a person whose heart is disturbed by material conditions of happiness and distress, whatever you have so kindly explained for attainment of peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm covered by ignorance. And this kind of philosophy does not touch my heart. So when we go into the purport here, we see that in the purport we refer that he's saying I can't accept it. Why? Because of what? Because of my Kshatriya temperament. Otherwise, whatever you have instructed is very nice. For a person whose heart is disturbed by material conditions of happiness and distress, means if someone is affected by, okay, we all are looking for happiness, but the so-called glimpse of what happiness we are thinking, and it's going, coming, going, if someone is disturbed, then your instructions are very nice. To be very calm, don't take man and what is it, avman and samman, and to think about oneself affected by the fruits of the karma and accept everything by the Lord's grace. So these are nice, what do you call, psychological what do you call, support that one can get. Okay, this is the right path, that these things are right. Okay, let's take it easy about this material condition, not be worried with the happiness or distress. It's nice, but here is saying that what happened in my case is I lost my peace of mind is certainly a very good instruction. Peace of mind, I have lost it, but as far as I am concerned, I am covered by ignorance. And what that ignorance is, yeah, where is that? He was confident that the instruction, but Dhruva Maharaj frankly admitted that he was not beyond the afflictions of material distress and happiness. He was confident that the instruction given by Narada was valuable, yet he could not accept it. The question raised is whether or not a person afflicted by material desire is fit to worship the Supreme Lord. This may come a question, right? Okay, if Dhruva Maharaj, who is a great devotee, and what he said is, I can't follow because of so and so reason, can we also do it? And Prabhupada very clearly mentions that the answer is that everyone is fit to worship him. It's not like, okay. So here we see that Dhruva Maharaj was not speaking at a knowledge of a perfection. So he is saying, even if Prabhupada is saying, even if one has many material desires to fulfill, he should take to Krishna consciousness and worship the Supreme Lord, who is merciful, that he fulfills everyone's desire. And this will help us, this purport will help us to understand this. So in a way that this Dhruva Maharaj Leela help us that no one is barred from worshipping the Supreme Person of Godhead, even if one has many material desires. Why? Because I think in the purport it is somewhere coming, or I don't know which one is it. Here. There are various classes of men. One class is called akamis, referring to those who have no material desire. Desire must exist, either material or spiritual. Material desire is when one wants to satisfy one's personal senses. One who is ready to sacrifice anything to satisfy the Supreme Lord can be said to have spiritual desire. So we cannot think that I don't want any, I don't have any desire. No. That is not good, because as soon as when we have that thought, we are in having a material desire of not even having a spiritual desire. It is not a fact, however, that those who have material desires are prohibited from the worship of the Supreme Lord. This is the essential instruction from the life of Dhruva. Yeah. And here also, here it further says that, here it says, Dhruva Maharaj is saying, just like my heart, I'm not able to take what you are saying, because I am from a Kshatriya family. I have a Kshatriya temperament, and because of Kshatriya temperament, I'm not able to leave away the harsh words, the effects of harsh words. Why? Because those words pierce my heart. Therefore, your valuable instruction does not stand in my heart. And Prabhupada is giving an example. We know that heart or mind is just like an earthen pot. Once broken, it cannot be repaired by any means. Dhurva Maharaj, yeah, I mean, we know that when a pot has a small hole, yeah, we try to patch it up, but it doesn't help. The only thing is one has to break it and make the mud again and again start forming into a new clay pot. So Dhruva Maharaj gave this example to Narad Muni. He said that his heart, having been pierced by his stepmother, felt so broken that nothing seemed valuable but his desire to counter her insult. That is what he has. So, in other words, according to his stepmother, he could not be declared king. This is anyway. Stepmother Suruchi has said to Dhruva Maharaj that, yeah, don't have any such dreams of becoming a king. Uh, though, so she was, yeah. Last sessions we know why, what made her say so, and yeah, here we see that Dhruv Maharaj indirectly is informing to the sage that he is having a Kshatriya spirit, and the philosophical spirit enunciated by Narad Muni might have been suitable for Brahmana spirit, to give up, to stay controlled, self-controlled, self-realized people, or Brahman sthiti, one who is attained that. But for Kshatriyas, it's not the thing. Dhruva frankly admitted that he was lacking in Brahmanical humility and was therefore unable to accept the philosophy of Narada Muni. So, but here we use this reference also to learn one more point is that, yeah, so if one is just born in a Kshatriya family or in a Brahmana family, there might be these qualities, uh, innate natural qualities, but one can, under the guidance of spiritual master, can advance. One can go to the higher classes of Varnashrama, and even to the extent that even can go beyond this Varnashrama system. Now, the statement of Dhur Maharaj indicates that unless a child is trained according to his tendency, there is no possibility of developing particular spirit. And Prabhupada, I think, gives example of um, um, hmm, that how the spiritual master is observing what kind of temperament is there in a person, in a student. If in a Gurukul, when all the students come, when the teacher is training, he is not just um, giving a subject uh, matter to everyone equally. He is seeing what is that he can do best. That is what he is given. If it is something like in today's world, not everyone is made to teach doctor subjects or science or lawyer, but after understanding, they themselves, the students select that this is what is my interest, this is what I prefer, and accordingly he is training himself. That the boys do not have the Kshatriya spirit does not mean that they are trained in Brahminical qualities. They are trained as Shudras. This is what happened. This is a this is a cause of great dissatisfaction in society. What that the boys do not have the Kshatriya spirit does not mean that they are trained in Brahminical qualities. They are trained as Shudras, and thus in frustration they are becoming hippies. However, as soon as they entered Krishna consciousness movement, being started in America, they are trained to meet the Brahminical qualifications, even though they have fallen to the lowest conditions as Shudras. Prabhupada is referring to the initial ISKCON days where, yeah, in the West, there were no twice born for Brahmanas, Vaishyas, and all these things. Yeah, so everyone were in the class of Shudras, drinking, intoxication, illicit sex, and all these things. But Krishna consciousness made them Brahmanas. In other words, since Krishna consciousness movement is open for everyone, people in general attain the Brahmanical qualification. This is the greatest need at the present moment. And at the present moment, the body has legs and a belly, but there are no arms or head, and therefore society is topsy-turvy. It is necessary to re-establish the Brahmanical qualification in order to raise the fallen human society to the highest standard of spiritual consciousness. So, Now Dhruva is asking, please advise me honest path that I can do it. I want to occupy a position more exalted than any yet achieved within the three worlds by anyone, uh, even my father and grandfather. If you will oblige, kindly advise me of an honest path to follow by which I can achieve the goal of my life. So, when Dhruva Maharaj refused to become uh, positioned in taking the Brahmanical instruction, he wanted the next. So even before Narad Muni asked, Dhruva Maharaj expressed his heartfelt desire. So this is also what is saying the spirit. Sometimes we go to a guru and say, Maharaj, I want this. Whether we are not keeping it open slate. We are already saying, hey, I want these things. Usually we see, right, people go to some gurus or some babas when we say that, please bless me, and in the blessings they themselves will tell what exactly they want. They want that, please bless me with good health, please bless me with lot of wealth, please bless me that I don't have any problems in my life. uh, uh, Sometimes we just, because with our limited understanding of what could be the best, we just ask. When Dhruva Maharaj refused to accept the Brahminical instructions of Narad Muni, naturally the next question would be what sort of instruction he wanted. That would be, so even before Narad Muni asked, Dhruva Maharaj expressed his heartfelt desire. His father, of course, was emperor of entire world, and his grandfather, Lord Brahma, was the creator of the universe. Uh, Dhruva Maharaj expressed his desire to possess a kingdom better than those of his father and grandfather. In the spirit of, I want to be the the best in my area. Something like if a constable is asked, "What do you want?" He would say, "I want to become the SI or CI or SP or something." He's not thinking that even that is also a job to be done. Rather, he can ask freedom from all these things, and he can enjoy unlimited happiness. But he is saying that no higher position. People give a lot of respect to the I am to the head. So let me become that head. He frankly stated that he wanted a kingdom which has no competitor within the three worlds, namely the higher, middle, and lower planetary systems. So here we see understand that the Dhruva Maharaj was totally um, covered by his strong desire to become great, even beyond his grandfather. He wanted to take advantage of Narad Muni's presence because he knew very well that if Narad Muni, the great devotee of Krishna, could bless him or show him the path, then certainly he would be able to occupy a more exalted position than any person within three worlds. Thus, he wanted the help from Narad Muni to achieve that position. So, uh, so this is what we see, that this was practically an impossible proposition, but by pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a devotee can achieve even the impossible. So in this connection, we see Dhruva Maharaj wanted to occupy exalted position by hook or crook, but by honest means. So here we see that Dhruva Maharaj is very much focused on what he wants, and he said, "Nunam Bhavan Bhagavato Yongaja Parameshtina Vitudan Atate Vinam Hitaya Jagato Rakhavat." Rakhavat. And this example is given here. And you are a worthy son of Lord Brahma, and you travel playing on your musical instrument for the welfare of entire universe. You are like sun, which rotates in the universe for the benefit of all living beings. So, in that sense, Narad Muni, he's saying that you can fulfill my desire. And then example of sun is given. The sun is so kind that he distributes his sunlight everywhere without consideration. So he's saying you do not have partiality. You do not like, okay, no, he has to come to that level only after he becomes serious, sincere. Only then I will instruct. No, Narad Muni is so merciful that he is going to everyone, no discrimination, and blessing them. So he requested Narad Muni to show his mercy by awarding him the benefit of his particular desire. So now Narad Muni is pleased, and now from here on he describes the glories of the Lord as well as the path what he has to take. He's saying, upon hearing the words of Dhruva Maharaj, he became very compassionate toward him, and in order to show him his causeless mercy, he gave him the following expert advice. And what before that we understand here the principle. We cannot expect blessings just like that. If a great person has come, we cannot simply expect blessings from him unless we really serve him. Of course, they are already merciful. They will give their blessings wherever they go, and that anyway comes. But we have to seek any opportunity, every opportunity to serve. By serving, we establish a relationship, and in that relationship, what is the benefit is, just like Dhruva Maharaj though he was saying what he wants, which is not in line with bhakti marg, we because of having any desires, but Narad Muni is compassionate. Similarly, we are so much conditioned souls. We have so many desires. uh, but when we approach the spiritual master, when we approach great saintly persons, by serving them, they will be pleased, and by our pleasing attitude, not only serving. Here we see that Dhruva Maharaj has not yet done any service, but he is glorifying the greatness of great personalities. And it's not like, okay, he's just asking, give me the blessing, give me the blessing. He's also saying that, hey, you are very compassionate, and if it's my great fortune that I have come across or you, and please bless me. Since Narada Muni is the foremost spiritual master, naturally his only activity is to bestow the greatest benefit upon whomever he meets. Dhruva Maharaj, however, was a child, and so his demand was also that of a playful child. Still, the great sage became compassionate toward him and spoke the following verses. The other the Narada Muni is saying, he is saying that I recommend. What I am recommending, I am asking you to take up Bhakti Marg. Whatever he was saying that your mother, she said Bhakti Marg is the best, but it's not so difficult. But here he's saying the instruction given by your mother Suniti to follow the path of devotional service is just suitable for you. You should therefore completely absorb yourself in devotional service of the Lord. So here we see. Therefore, Dhruva Maharaj's demand was to achieve an abode even greater than Lord Brahma within this universe. Because Lord Brahma has created everything and then he is the king of everything, but Dhruva Maharaj wanted beyond it. So therefore, Narada Muni asked Dhruva Maharaj to follow the path recommended by his mother. Why? Because if something we want higher than this material world, that is possible only in the path of bhakti. Bhakti can transgress beyond the realms of these material benedictions. Therefore, his desire was not to be fulfilled by worshipping any demigod. As described by Bhagavad Gita, the benediction offered by demigods are temporary. Therefore, Narad Muni asked Dhruva Maharaj to follow the path recommended by his mother. And what is that? Here he says that Jananyabhihita, your mother, Panta, what is this? The path is Savai Nishreya Yasyasya Te Bhagavan Vasudevastam Bhajatam Pravanatmana. Atmana. So fully absorbed with your mind. Pravana Atmana. So and that is one point. Yeah, you know, he was very pleased with Dhruva Maharaj, and he could have at once personally given whatever he wanted. But that is not duty of spiritual master. His duty is to engage the disciple in proper devotional service. Krishna was similarly present uh, before Arjuna, and even though he could have given him all facilities for victory over the opposing party without a fight, he did not do so. Instead, he asked Arjuna to fight. Hmm. So, Narad Muni greatness is said, is referred here as Bhagavan because he can bless any person just as the Supreme Personality of Godhead can. So, we understand that the greatness of a devotee is so that he can give, he can grant things that seem impossible. धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष्यम य इच्छेया आत्मनः एकम ही एव हरेस्तत्र कारणम पाद सेवनम. So any person who desires the fruits of four principles should engage himself in devotional service of the Supreme Lord. For worship of his lotus feet yields the fulfillment of all these. So one may think, okay, for all the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, let me go to demigod worship. No, here it's clear that even to attain these also, it is that Supreme Person, one takes the shelter of Supreme Person of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita is that only with the sanction of the Supreme Lord, demigods offer benediction. Therefore, whenever any sacrifice is offered to a demigod, the Supreme Lord in the form of Narayana Shila or Salagram Shila is put forward to observe the sacrifice. Actually, the demigods cannot give any benediction without sanction of the Supreme Lord. Narada Muni therefore advised that even for religiosity, Supreme Lord should be sorted, shelter for. That is real intelligence. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, performance of ritualistic ceremonies is not actually religion. So this should be very, very carefully understood. If we see there is a nice yajna that is going, there is nice homa, there is so many ghee lamps that are offered to the Lord, is that? No, here very important is whatever if we see that is part of the dharma and Upanishads or the vidhi, if there is but we should understand the essence is that we want to please the Supreme Lord, then it's complete. Otherwise, the real path of religion is to surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. If you don't do this and do anything else, it is not going to be fruitful. For one who is actually surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, there is no question of any separate endeavor for economic development. The devotee engaged in service to the Lord is not disappointed in the satisfaction of his senses. One may think that agar मैं भक्त बनूंगा, if I become a devotee, then there is a huge loss. If he wants to satisfy his senses, Krishna fulfills that desire. As far as liberation is concerned, any devotee fully engaged in service is already liberated. Why? Because we don't think anything is there for us to enjoy in this world, because we think that whatever I want to do it only for the Lord. In that way, we are though physically present in this world, but our activities are beyond this physical body. Therefore, there is no separate necessity for his liberation. Narad Muni therefore advised Dhruva to take shelter of Vasudeva. In this verse, Narad Muni has especially stressed the devotional service of the Lord as the only way. In other words, even if one is full of material desires, he can continue his devotional service to the Lord, and all these desires will be fulfilled. So, a very nice promotion of devotional service. So that's why we sometimes see, okay, for this I go to this god, for this I go to that god, different gods based on our material and spiritual desires. If we take shelter, lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, then everything is taken here. And he's saying, now go to Madhuvan. Tattata gacha bhadram te yamunaya tatam suchi punyam madhuvanam yatra sanidhyam nityada hari. And after reaching there, uh, um, just by going there, one draws nearer to the Supreme Lord. Just by going there. Both Narad Muni and Suniti advised Dhruva to take a shelter of the Supreme Lord. And now Narad Muni is especially giving him direction how this worship can very quickly fructify. This can be understood that bhakti is nice, and bhakti performing in Tirthasthan is even more nice, more powerful, more potent. Why? Because of that brings that and there be purified. Just by going there, one draws nearer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just imagining like if we want to enjoy strawberries, what we do is we can go to a shop and then we pay, and then we get home and then eat. Then there is also this, I don't know, you may have used the opportunity here, where you can go to a farm, strawberry farm, and you can eat as much as you want immediately. Why? Because they are produced there, and the fruit which is plucked has the best nutrients compared to the one that is in the shop, which is disconnected from its nature, source of life. Few days ago. So here we see for example, if someone likes ice creams, they just get a 1 day pass into an ice cream factory and then they can eat as much as they can. We see here the reference is that the spiritual potency of the spiritual dham is very, very high. Why? Because there is merely if one can dive deep in the spiritual practices, he can get connected with the divinity present there. Unlike a place where it's have to be invoked, just like if we are in Germany, someone is in Lindau, someone is in Hamburg, and different places, or Bonn, Cologne, different places, or even within Cologne, unless they enter into a temple, they are still outside. What do we call? The spiritual vibrations that are present. Because outside there are a lot of other things that are happening, a lot of materialistic people. So, but as soon as we enter the temple, wherever we are, or even our home, if our home has become a temple, then we see our inclination of practicing bhakti increases by seeing the Sri Murti, or by seeing the wonderful painting or photos of the Lord and pastimes, or reading books. In that way, one can become more successful more quickly. So he recommends that Dhruva Maharaj goes to the bank of Yamuna, where there is a forest of the name Madhuvan, and begin his meditation and worship there. Places of pilgrimage yield a special advantage for a devotee in quickly advancing his spiritual life. The Lord is present everywhere, but still it is very easy to approach him in holy places of pilgrimage, because these places are inhabited by great sages. Lord Krishna says that he lives wherever his devotees are chanting. There are many places of pilgrimage in India, and especially prominent are Badrinath, Badri, Narayan, Dwaraka, Rameshwar, and Jagannath Puri, Char Dham. These sacred places are called the four dhams. Dham refers to a place where one can immediately contact the Supreme Lord. To go to Badri Narayan, one has to pass through Haridwar on the path to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, there are other holy places of pilgrimage such as Prayag and Mathura, and topmost of all is Vrindavan. Unless one is very advanced in spiritual life, it is recommended that he live in such holy places and execute devotional service there. But an advanced devotee like Narad Muni, who is engaged in preaching work, can serve the Supreme Lord anywhere. Sometimes he even goes to the hellish planets. So according to Narada Muni, Madhuban, which is is still existing in the Vrindavan area, in the district of Madura, is most sacred place. Many saintly persons still live there and engage in devotional service of the Lord. And there are these 12 one of Vrindavan. There are 5 forests on the eastern bank of Yamuna: Badravan, Bilvavan, Lauhavan, Bandiravan, Mahavan. On the western side of the bank, there are 7 vans: Madhuvan, Talvan, Kumudavan, Bahulavan, Kamyavan, Kadiravan, and Vrindavan. In those 12 forests, there are different ghats. Avimukta, Adhirudha, Guhyatirtha, Prayagatirtha, Kanakhala, Pindukatirtha, Suryatirtha, Vataswami, Dhruva, where there are many nice trees of fruits and flowers, is famous because Dhruva Maharaj meditated and underwent severe penances and austerities. And then Rishitirtha, Mokshatirtha, Buddhatirtha, Gokarna, Krishna Ganga, Vaikunta, Asikunda, Chatussamudrika Kupa, Akrura Tirtha, Yagnika, Viprasthana, Kubja Kupa, Rangasthala, Manchasthala, Mallayudha Sthana, and Dasaswamedha. Nice to know all these various pilgrim places and bathing ghats around. So this gives a kind of importance of these places, and a sadhaka, if he is eager, visits those places. Because at least I used to have such a question: why we have to? Why there is such a high significance attached to a place where the Lord is no more present? Because the temple, when we go now, we only see Lord's Murti. Is it only because of the Murti the place is prominent? Because the pastimes, whatever happened, we can't see with our eyes. Where Krishna is pulled the mortar, or where he ate the mud. All these are nice places. Is it only like if we go there, is it kind of helping us to tune ourselves to feel that I am in the place where it happened? And is that especially this thought came when His Holiness Kadamkaran Maharaj was taking a tour of devotees to Bangladesh, and hardly those temples. The temples, once upon a time there was a temple, or once upon a time the Lord has done his pastimes here, but they are in such a depleted state that even if we go there, what can we see? What can we how can we connect ourselves to what has happened 500 years back? Now we are talking about just for 500 years back, we may not feel that. We are talking about those temples which were in the 2 BC, 1 AD, or very, very old, and now we are talking about these dham. What is so important of these places? Here we get it that why? Because the spiritual potency is still present. If we just go there and practice our devotion, then we can really understand, we can really appreciate and feel confident that yes, indeed these places are not ordinary places. Indeed these places are so potent that they are really waiting for people who want to do bhakti yoga, for people who are aspiring to become devotees of the Lord. They are ready, they are eagerly waiting to invest the spiritual potency for helping us to practice bhakti. Once, when I had this question a few years back, then I read, I came across His Holiness Indradhan Maharaj diary, From that, there was a snippet that I read where Maharaj was doing a very nice kirtan in one of such, I don't know which one was it or which ghat was that. And when Maharaj is doing very vibrant kirtan, then his disciple all of a sudden was shocked. Yeah, no, sorry. No, after the kirtan or during the class, I don't remember. Then he was shocked. Whatever Maharaj was telling, he could really see there. When Maharaj was describing that, there is this very nice kund, and in this kund there are a lot of wonderful flowers which are of blue, and the devotee could see that, and he was shocked. So, which means those things are still there, but because we are going with our vision, because of that vision, we are not able to appreciate the Dham, appreciate the um, spiritual dimension of the Dham, and not able to see that. What we see is a green covering on a kund, but not seeing what is beneath. Because when Maharaj was describing everything that Prabhu was seeing, and he was shocked that the flower is of a two-petal flower, violet or blue in color. Come on, have you ever seen such a flower? But that Prabhu could see it. Yeah. Anyone want to share anything like that if they've heard? Yeah, feel free. But yeah, so that is what is the reason why Narad Muni has sent Dhruva Maharaj to Madhuban. And then he's saying after going there what to do. This is very important instruction. Yeah, it is nice. We can pack up our bags and suitcases with loads of things that we want to have a comfortable trip. But what is that we have to do is to practice yoga. Of course, for that time, yeah, Narad Muni was instructing him to do what? Ashtanga yoga. He's saying pranayamena tri vritta pranendriya manomalam saner vyudasyabhi dhyan Manasa Guruna Gurum. So what to do is to practice to take bath 3 times a day in the auspicious Yamuna. Then sit on your asan to do pranayam. And what kind of pranayam here is mentioned? There is this to practice. It is here. It is recommended that Dhruva Maharaj that he meditate on the Supreme Guru or the Supreme Spiritual Master. The Supreme Spiritual Master is Krishna. He is therefore called Chaitya Guru, Chaitya, who is present inside us and he is guiding us. This refers to the Super Soul, who is sitting in everyone's heart. He helps from within, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, and he sends the spiritual master who helps from without. So we are in safe hands of the Lord. Why? Because He is mm, He is giving us the instructions from within, and also He is manifesting um, uh, in front of our eyes, so that okay, if we have question, did I understand correctly, Lord, what you are saying? He is also manifesting in the form of in his external manifestation, so that we can also get clarification, hear, interact, and seek instruction, and then execute. It is referred. So he sends spiritual master who helps from without. The spiritual master is the external manifestation of Chaitya Guru, or the supreme master or spiritual master sitting in everyone's heart. The process by which we give up our thoughts of material things is called pratyahara. So, ahara means something that is what we take. Pratya means to not take, which entails being freed from all material thoughts and engagement. Usually, ahara, we think it is only food. Ahara is also thought. The word abhidhyayet, which is used in this verse, indicates that unless one's mind is fixed, one cannot meditate. The conclusion, therefore, is that meditation means thinking of the Lord within. whether one comes to that stage by Ashtanga Yoga or by method recommended in Shastras, especially for this present age, to constantly chant the holy name. The goal is to meditate on the Supreme Lord. So you may think, oh no, yoga is nice. It also gives me good health, so that I can have nice health and long life and happiness, no disease, and still can reach the Lord. Yeah, if we want to do that, yeah. The only thing is it will take longer time because we are taking care of so many other things in parallel. Hmm. But rather, straight route and most efficient route is by taking shelter of the Supreme Lord and executing the Bhakti Yoga. Whether the disease come or not, we see that, okay, Lord, if you want, you can give it. If you want me to go through that, let me go through. But I do not want to leave your lotus feet. So that is what Prabhupada is mentioning, that, yeah, what path we take, but important thing is to meditate on the Supreme Lord. And then and in such Ashtanga Yoga, if one is executing that, what should one do is the Lord's ways. Yeah, Narada Muni is describing. He is saying that always prepared to offer causeless mercy. The Lord is always there. Has a joyful face and a glance, has beautiful nose and eyebrows. He has. I think Ratikeli Mataji read all these descriptions about the Lord. So here it says, Lord form is always youthful. Tarunam. Tarunam Ramaniyangam. And then he has form. His eyes and lips are pinkish like rising sun. He is always prepared to give shelter to the surrendered soul, and anyone so fortunate as to look upon him feels all satisfaction. The Lord is always worthy to be the master of surrendered souls, for he is the ocean of mercy. Why he is the master? Because a master should be all merciful. Who is all merciful than Lord? Lord himself is the ocean of mercy. So here we see that, what is that? Saranyam Karunarnavam, worthy of surrender and an ocean of mercy. And then he says that the Lord is further described as having the mark of Srivatsa, or the sitting place of goddess of fortune, and his bodily hue is deep bluish. The Lord is a person. He wears a garland of flowers, and he is eternally manifest with 4 hands which hold, beginning from the lower left, a conch shell, wheel, club, and lotus flower. I think in the purport, I read, there is, yeah. The feminine feature of the Lord is displayed by goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, Radharani, Sita, etc. All these goddesses of fortune are servitors of the Lord. They are not supreme, as falsely imagined by impersonalists. Lord Krishna in his Narayan feature is always 400. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Arjuna wanted to see him, his universal form, he showed this feature of 400 Narayan. Some devotees are of opinion that Krishna is incarnation of Narayan. But Bhagavad school says that Narayan is manifestation of Krishna. Yeah. Going further, Kiritam Kundalinam, Keyura Valayanvitam, Kaustubha, sorry. Kiritinam Kundalinam, Keyura Valayanvitam, Kaustubha Grivam, Ita Kauseya Vasasam. Sorry. So yeah, these are. I mean, Narada Muni is explaining the inconceivable features of the Lord, and then he further goes. His waist is surrounded by a girdle of small uh, bells, wears shining golden anklets, most charming to look at and peaceful, pleasing to the eyes and mind. Mano Nayana Vardhanam. Yeah, here. Mano, mind, Nayana, eyes, Vardhanam. It's very, very pleasing. And then his feet. Padhyam. Padvyam Nakha Mani Shrenya Vilasabhyam Samarchatam Prit Padma Karnika Dishnyam Akramyatmani Avasthitam. So, uh, so this is that beauty of the Lord. With the jewel-like nails of his lotus feet glittering, he stands on the whirl of lotus of the hearts of those who worship them. And then situated in the heart and intelligence of the jiva. So, and then the Lord is also always smiling, and the devotee should constantly see the Lord in this form as he looks very mercifully toward the devotee. In this way, the meditator should look toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of all benediction. And here the word is as Eka Bhutena, which means with great attention and concentration. If one concentrates on the descriptions of the bodily features of the Lord, one will never fall down. So we may come across so many such slokas, uttama slokas, glorifying the Lord and His pastimes. Just by hearing them, the result is we will not fall down. So at least that anxiety is gone if we engage ourselves in hearing, knowing about the features of the Lord. Evam bhagavato rupam subhadram dhyayato mana. He's saying now, one is what is one getting if one meditates on this form is evam bhagavato rupam subhadram. Subhadram means bhadram, shelter. Subhadram, all auspicious. Here we see very auspicious. Dhyayat, if one is meditating, what is he getting? One who meditates in this way, concentrating his mind upon the always auspicious form of the Lord, is very soon freed from all material contamination, and he does not come down from meditation upon the Lord. So this is the stage of samadhi. And the Archana Marg, or the devotional path prescribed in Pancharatra system of devotion service for worshipping the deity in the temple, makes the devotee think constantly of the Lord. So get up early in the morning, do all the morning rituals, the morning routine of Mangalarati, or of course, and after that, doing the upacharas, 16 upacharas, and after that, again, then darshan arati. In that way, if one is engaged in the pancharatrik vidhi of archana, then he is always absorbed in samadhi. One who practices in this way cannot deviate from the service of the Lord, and that makes him perfect in the mission of human life. What is the praman for proof for us is we see so many Prabhupada disciples and great brahmacharis who are in Mayapur and Vrindavan. They don't even go outside the temple. They are so much absorbed uh, in the upacharas, in making food for the Lord, making his paraphernalia arranged, ready, and dressing and all. So they were so absorbed. They're constantly serving, yeah, and and that makes him perfect in the mission of human life. If you want to be perfect, if you want to be successful in human, get the best of the human form of life, this is what we should also do. And now comes, now he is saying, Chapascha Paramo Guhya. Now I'm going to give you the secret mantra. Shuyatam me Rupan Maja Yam Saptaratram Prapathan Puman Pasyati Kecharan. So he's saying, okay, now I shall speak unto you the mantra which is to be chanted with this process of meditation. One who carefully chants this mantra for 7 nights can see the perfect human being flying in sky. So, so here in this connection, Prabhupada is giving like, okay, yeah, this siddhi, what is explained that comes. Yeah, it's nice, but that's not the end result. But this itself is great. That just imagine if we turn our head up and then if you're seeing some spiritual people who have attained that siddhi, flying in the sky. Yeah, that is the stage. Within this universe, there is a planet called Siddhaloka. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka are by nature perfect in yoga achievements, which are of 8 types. Lagima, Anima. So these are some of the yogic perfections. By virtue of Lagima Siddhi or purificatory process, to become lighter than lightest, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka can fly in the sky without airplanes or airships. It is hinted herein by Narad Muni to Dhruva Maharaj that by meditating upon the transcendental form of the Lord and at the same time chanting the mantra, one becomes so perfect within 7 days that he can see the human beings who fly in the sky. Narad Muni uses the word japa, which indicates that the mantra to be chanted very confidential. To chant is very confidential. One may ask, if it is confidential, why is it mentioned in the writing of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Because later next verse will give us the mantra also. It is confidential in this sense. What is it? One may receive a published mantra anywhere, but unless it is accepted through the chain of disciplic succession, the mantra does not act. It is said by authoritative source that any mantra chanted without having been received from the disciplic succession has no efficacy. That's why still we see in India that any school of thought we go, they say, if we am asking, can you tell me? They say, no, you get it from my guru, because that is the way that we get connected. Just getting, okay, if I have a tape of Mrityunjaya mantra or a tape of Gayatri mantra, and if I think that let me not go to a guru, and then just by hearing, by saying, we think more of that will give us power. No, it is through the parampara when we get, then only it works. Another point established in this verse is that meditation should be carried on with chanting of a mantra. Chanting of the so this is about the people who are practicing voidism or shunyavad, right? Meditating on nothing, or meditating on one soul but not using any mantra, or only thinking pranayama will take us to highest that highest place position. Chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is the easiest process of meditation in this age. As soon as one chants the Hare Krishna mantra, he sees the forms of Lord of Krishna, Rama, and their energies, and that is the perfect stage of trance. One should not artificially try to see the form of the Lord while chanting Hare Krishna. But when chanting is performed offenselessly, the Lord will automatically reveal himself. Sometimes this is, I don't know if Rishabh Prabhu is there. He was asking, okay, what should I do when I'm doing the japa? Should I remember? Huh? So actually, he said that he got even some devotee in the temple was telling to do that. No, we should not, or we do not have to do it. We just focus on the holy name. Let everything come. Let everything manifest on His own by the mercy of the Lord. Our focus is chanting the Lord. And of course, if our mind is distracting, if our mind is carried away somewhere, there are some techniques how to control our mind. By what? By hearing to some pastimes of the Lord, by meditating on that pastime of the Lord, and in our japa, we are hearing the holy name of the Lord clearly. One may think that no. I am sometimes thinking that I am sitting in front of the Lord and offering the flowers to the Lord while I'm doing japa. Is it okay? No, we don't. We should not. Where is that? While chanting, but one should not artificially try to see the form of the Lord artificially while chanting. But when the chanting is performed offenselessly, the Lord will automatically reveal Him. Therefore, the chanter has to concentrate on the hearing the vibration, and without extra endeavor on his part, the Lord will automatically appear. I think I'll stop here. Yeah, because from here, or we could actually go till few more verses, because this is actually the mantra that he is going to give. The mantra is very potent. We are talking about this mantra, and then here, what is the mantra? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Mantrinanena Devasya Kuryad Dravyamayin Dravyamayim Buddha Saparyam Vividhair Dravyair Deshakala Vibhagavit. And from here, few verses we are talking very important in the context of this. This is very important. Desakala Vibhagavit. Based on that, Dravya, Desa, and Kala. Based on that, we have to practice meditation or bhakti. Here, this is a 12-letter mantra. This is the 12-syllable mantra for worshipping Lord Krishna. One should install the physical forms of the Lord, and with chanting of the mantra, one should offer flowers and fruits and other varieties of foodstuffs exactly according to the rules and regulations prescribed by authorities. But this should be done in consideration of place, time, and attendant convenience and inconveniences. Prabhupada explains this and also brings the connection of how people chastise or find faults in ISKCON. How is that? Yeah, actually. I don't know. Should I cover this, or should we go through this few verses next session?
For us, Prabhuji, it's okay. You can go on.
What about others?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here, there is an injunction that those who are not Brahmanas cannot pronounce the Pranava mantra, right? So because Om, here is saying Om, and there are, this purport is so nice. There are few instructions for helping us that people who thinks that, hey, come on, you're not a Brahmana, how can you recite such mantras? They don't even know what is Suchi. They don't know how can they practice? How can they get a mantra? Who is that who can give such a mantra? Why? Because as per Shastras, we see that Om is Pranavanada, and Pranava is uttered by Brahmanas. But Dhruva, we know he is a Kshatriya. He is a Kshatriya, and he even admitted to Narada Muni, and in spite of Narada Muni knowing that he is Kshatriya, how is that he has been given this mantra? Still, although not a Brahmana but a Kshatriya, Dhruva was allowed on authority of Narada, and that is very here. This is very significant, especially in India. The caste Brahmins object greatly when persons from other castes who are not born in Brahmana families recite this Pranava mantra. But here is a tacit proof that if a person accepts the Vaishnava mantra or Vaishnava way of worshipping the deity, he is allowed to chant the Pranava mantra. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord personally accepts that anyone, even one of a low species, can be elevated to the highest position and go back to Godhead simply if he worships properly. So it is the Vaishnava. If a person accepts the Vaishnava mantra or Vaishnava way of worshipping the deity, he is allowed to chant Pranava. Otherwise, not. And Prabhupada is giving, I think, in US some example. The prescribed rules, as stated here by Narad Muni, are that one should accept the mantra through a bona fide spiritual master. And here the mantra in the right, we know this, right? We are not talking about the Harinam Diksha. We are talking about this second. Not only should one chant or murmur the mantra, but in front of him, he must have the deity or physical form of the Lord. Of course, when the person appears, it is not. Of course, when the Lord appears, it is no longer a physical form. For example, when an iron rod is made red hot fire, then this rod is no more rod; it is a fire. And the Lord, whether he is made of wood or stone or metal or jewel or paint or even a form within the mind, it is bona fide spiritual transcendental form of the Lord. Not only must one receive the mantra from the bona fide spiritual master like Narad Muni or his representatives in reciprocal succession, but one must chant the mantra. It is not that, okay, I am part of for the part of the disciplic succession by accepting the mantra? No, but one has to chant. And not only must one chant, but he should also offer whatever footsteps is available in his part of the world according to time and convenience. And this Prabhupada elaborates later. The method of chanting the mantra and preparing the forms of the Lord is not stereotyped, nor is it exactly the same everywhere. It is specially mentioned in this verse that one should take consideration of the time, place, and available conveniences. It is not like, okay, there is a wonderful temple according to Rajasthani style or according to South Indian, what is this, Udupi style. It's not like that. It is according to the time, place, and available convenience. One has to think. Our Krishna consciousness movement is going on throughout the entire world, and we also install deities in different centers. Sometimes our Indian friends, puffed up with concocted notions, criticize. This has not been done, that has not been done. I don't know, Chitramali Mataji, you are there? Don't we hear such kind of things? That okay, this is the best thing. Yeah, fire should be there, that should be there. But they forget this instruction from Radhamuni to one of the greatest Vaishnavas. One has to consider the particular time, country, and convenience. What is convenient in India may not be convenient in the Western countries. Those who are not actually in the line of acharyas or who personally have no knowledge of how to act in the role of acharya unnecessarily criticize the activities of ISKCON movement in countries outside of India. The fact is that such critics cannot do anything personally to spread Krishna consciousness. Critics, what will they do? Nothing. If someone does go and preach, taking all risks and allowing all considerations of time and place, it might be that there are changes in manner of worship, but that is not at all faulty according to Shastras. And then the reference is Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, Srimad Veeraraghavacharya. He says even Chandalas, where is that? Remarked in his commentary that Chandalas or conditioned souls who are born in lower than Shudra families can also be initiated according to the circumstances. The formalities may be slightly changed here and there to make them Vaishnavas. So if one has a question, how can this be possible? How can someone, a foreigner, can become a devotee, even Brahmana? How can he enter altar and all these things? Yeah, when we are in the disciplic succession and when the Vaishnava acharyas who can instruct in this, who, how, when, and all these things according to time, place, and circumstances, they have the not qualification, they have the authority. Yeah, correct. They have the authority to change, to make everyone Vaishnavas. Is this clear? This
Yes.
goes further.
Yes,
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends that his name should be heard in every nook and corner of the world. How is this possible unless one preaches everywhere? The cult of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhagavad Dharma. I don't know if I have come across, if I tell, there are three ways. There is the, anyway, Bhagavad Dharma, and he especially recommends Krishna Katha or the cult of Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So that's why we should make ourselves arrangements. Every place, wherever we go, we should have Bhagavad Katha, Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That will do everything. He recommends that every Indian, considering this task to be paropakar or welfare activity, take the Lord's message to other residents of the world. And we are so fortunate being coming from Indian background here. Prabhupada is clearly mentioning this instruction. He recommends that every Indian, considering this task to be paropakar, take the Lord's message to other residents of the world. Isn't it very clear here? Other residents of the world does not refer only to those who are exactly like the Indian Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, or like caste Brahmanas who claim to be Brahmanas because they were born in the family of Brahmanas. No, that's not the case. The principle that only Indians and Hindus should be brought into Vaishnava cult is a mistaken idea. This is not for us only a kind of a sect like for Indians or Brahmanas. No, there should be propaganda to bring everyone to the Vaishnava cult. The Krishna consciousness movement is meant for this purpose. There is no bar to propagate Krishna consciousness movement even among people who are born in Chandalas, Mlechas or Yavana families. Even in India, this point has been enunciated by Srila Sanatan Goswami in his Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is Smriti and is authorized Vedic guide for Vaishnavas in their daily behavior. Sanatan Goswami, he says that a bell metal, we know a bell metal, I don't know what is this called. What is this bell metal called in Hindi?
You mean Ghanti?
What? Not
Tamba,
bell, not
Tamba,
metal. Yeah, not
Kansa, something
yeah.
Kansa.
Kansa.
Correct. Yeah, can turn to gold when mixed with mercury in a chemical process. So, by the bona fide diksha or initiation method, anyone can become a Vaishnava. One should take initiation from a bona fide spiritual master coming in the disciplic succession, who is authorized by his predecessor spiritual master. This is called Diksha Vidhana. Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Vyapastrita, one should accept a spiritual master. By this process, the entire world can be converted to Krishna consciousness. See how potent one purport can clear so many questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
In the last purport, we read that the chanting or the mantra not received in the Guru Parampara has no efficiency.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it also for Mahamantra that if one chants before initiation, does it also apply to that?
No, I mean we are, yeah. So if we see that there, everyone we can see at a Siksha level, Siksha Gurus are also there, right? So if someone is telling, of course, we came across someone has given a book distributing books, and we came across, we read the book. Whose book is this? Prabhupada book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying that I am present. Yeah? So he is instructing. Or if someone is telling that, okay, if we come across, there are via medium, and now this is I mean, coming back to your main question, what will the potency of the holy name will not be there if it is not given? So this is not the mantras that we are talking. We are not talking about this Omkar. Yeah? We are not starting with Pranava mantras, which are referred in the scriptures. Maha mantra, which is inaugurated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just if one hears and chants only one time, then he is Vaishnava. We also have this reference.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah, this diksha that we are taking is that we are committing ourselves that we want to take shelter of the spiritual master and serve him in this mission. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we go to the next verses. I think the next verses are also, we see these are the ingredients. Yeah, Salilair, Suchibir, Malyer. What is that? With water, with purity, with garlands from the forest, Mula, and also the fruits. Yeah, this is what Narad Muni is saying. One should worship the Lord by offering pure water, pure flowers, flower garlands, fruits, flowers, and vegetables which are available in the forest, or by collecting newly grown grasses, small buds of flowers, or even the skins of trees, and if possible, by offering Tulasyam. Where is that? Yeah, Tulasyam Priya Prabhum. This is very nicely Prabhupada explains in the purport. By offering Tulasi leaves, which are very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When so much description is given about fruits, and garlands and flowers, water, but here it's mentioned Lord is very, very easily pleased by Tulsi. Tulasyam Priyaya Prabhum. So it's very interesting, right? We see that Tulsi is very pleased to serve the Lord, and Lord is very much pleased to be served by Tulsi. So we see, yeah, and then here I really appreciate in the purport. It is specially mentioned here in that Tulsi leaves are very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and devotees should take particular care to have Tulsi leaves in every temple and center of worship. In Western countries, while engaging in propagating the Krishna consciousness movement, we were brought great unhappiness because we could not find Tulsi leaves. Therefore, we are very much obliged to our disciple. Yeah, clearly, I mean, very rare. This is first time I think I have come across where Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport of his disciple, Srimati Govinda Dasi, because she has taken much care to grow tulsi plants from seeds and she has been successful by the grace of Krishna. Now, tulsi plants are growing in almost every center of our movement. Usually, Prabhupada, I have come across purports where he says, my disciples, but here, a nice example that Maharaj, Prabhupada is very much pleased by Govinda Devidasi. So here, Tulsi leaves are very important in the method of worshipping the Supreme Lord. In this verse, Salila means by the water. Of course, Dhruva Maharaj was worshipping on the bank of Yamuna. The Yamuna and Ganges are too sacred, and sometimes devotees in India insist that deity must be worshipped with water of Ganges or Yamuna. But here, yeah, in the Western world, Deshakala, according to the time and country, in the Western countries there is no river Yamuna or Ganges. That's why whenever I'm driving His Holiness Kadamkaran Maharaj, whenever Maharaj sees, Maharaj says Gange, and he pays obeisances. In the Western countries, there is no river Yamuna or Ganges. Water from such sacred rivers is not available. Does this mean that Archa worship should, for that reason, be stopped? No, Salilam. What is important is the purity here refers to Salilam refers to any water, whatever is available, but it must be very clean, clear, and collected purely. That water can be used. The other paraphernalia such as flower garlands, fruits and vegetables should be collected according to the country and according to their availability. Tulsi leaves are very important for satisfying the Lord. So as far as possible, an arrangement should be made for growing tulsi leaves. Dhruva Maharaj was advised to worship the Lord with fruits and flowers available in the forest. I think there is also this wonderful description about tulsi, right? Multiple references where it says tulsi as soon as when this the garlands that are offered made of tulsi are very pleasant, that other flowers they say because tulsi we are in the presence of tulsi, so we promote her to the Lord because the Lord is extremely pleased. I'm not able to recollect the exact verse. Yeah, this also comes where it's the description. I think yeah, correct. The tulsi, just by smelling the tulsi, what happens? Yeah, when Chaturkumaras, when they go to Jaya Vijaya, at the time the description of the Lord is given, and in that connection, the Vaikuntha description is described, and then in that connection also, the Lord when he is wearing tulsi, the fragrance of it is how intoxicating that even the four Kumaras who are impersonalists, they became devotees. Yeah, Apu Prabhu or Omkareshwar Prabhu, someone have you come across or Ram Raghav Prabhu? This is in the early cantos of Bhagavatam.
Yes, we remember. Yes.
One cannot offer to the deity according to one's whims. Since these fruits and vegetables are available anywhere in the universe, we should observe this small point very attentively. So, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna frankly says that he accepts vegetables, fruits, and flowers. One should not offer Lord Vasudeva anything other than what is prescribed herein by the great Narada Muni. one cannot offer to the deities according to one's whims. Yeah, so this is the point. The next verse is also telling what Lord Labdhva Dravyamaim Archam, based on what is available. Dravyamayim Archam Kshiti Amba Adishu Vachayat Abratatma Muni Santo Yathavan Mitavanya Book. So he is saying, if it is possible to worship a form of Lord made of physical elements such as earth, water, pulp, wood, and metal, in the forest one can make a form with no more than earth and water, and worship him according to the above principles. A devotee who has full control over his self should be very sober and peaceful and must be satisfied simply by eating what is that book? Vanya book. Eating whatever fruits and vegetables are available in the forest. In this connection, there is nice point. Mita book, yeah. The important factor is that the devotee should be regulated. That is one of the good qualifications of a devotee. One should not hanker to satisfy the tongue with a particular kind of foodstuff. He should be satisfied to eat whatever prasadam is available by the grace of Lord. So that is one point I could remember. The devotee should not be anxious about cooking food. Whatever is available in the forest or in the city among the fruits and vegetable group should be offered to the deity, and the devotee should be satisfied eating that. So again, according to place, circumstances, our offerings should be adjusted, should be planned, not adjusted.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we can't hear.
Thank you, Mother. Yeah, I was confirming whether some problem with me.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. So sorry, there was a network issue. Let me know if you see me, my screen as well. Record on this computer. I think YouTube is gone. Stop streaming. No, streaming is going on. Okay, sorry. So we are talking about the Labdhva, Labdhva Dravyamayim, Mayim Archam. And after that, then we go here. Svechavatara Charitayar. So this is what we should do. Beside worshipping the deity and chanting the mantra 3 times a day, you should meditate upon the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord that he exhibited by his supreme will and potency. This is very, very important. It is not just like, okay, we are meditating, and so devotional service comprises 9 prescribed duties: hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, in that way. And then there is Smaranam is very important. Here Dhruva Maharaj is advised not only to meditate on the form of the Lord, but to think of his transcendental pastimes in his different incarnations. The incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not forced to act by material laws of nature. The word Svecha is used here to indicate that he appears out of his supreme will. The conditioned soul is forced to accept a particular type of body. This is what I mean. The Prabhupada purport, he is mentioning that Lord pastimes are not material. Why? Because the Lord is coming to this world to enact different pastimes out of his fecha, out of his free will, supreme will. But in comparison for us now, we are forced because of our past karma. But Lord doesn't. He is not forced by dictation of material nature. He appears as he likes by his own internal potency. Just imagine a company owner. It's not like he has a job that he has to come 9 o'clock in the morning and be there and attend all the meetings. No, if he wants, he can just jump in anytime, he can attend anything, and then he can leave. The conditioned soul accepts a particular type of body, such as body of a hog, by his work and by the superior authority of material nature. But when Lord Krishna appears in the incarnation of a boar, he is not the same kind of hog as other ordinary animals. Krishna appears as Varaha avatar in an expansive feature which cannot be compared to ordinary hog. A devotee should always consider that Krishna does not appear as an ordinary human being or ordinary beast. His appearance as Varaha Murti or a horse or tortoise is an exhibition of his internal potency. So this kind of thinking that the Lord is material because he accepted material body is very, very offensive. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has condemned the Mayavadis as offensive to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because of their thinking that the Lord and the conditioned living entities are one and the same. So here Narada advises Dhruva to meditate on the pastimes of the Lord, which is as good as the meditation of concentrating one's mind on the form of the Lord. As meditation on any form of the Lord is valuable, so is chanting of different names of the Lord, such as Hari, Govinda, and Narayana. But in this age, we are especially advised to chant the Hare Krishna mantra, as enunciated in the Shastras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in that way, we see that the importance of this instruction and the final verse of the day, Paricharya, what we should, Paricharya Bhagavato Yavatya Purva Sevita Ta Mantra Hridayenaiva Prayujyan Mantra Murtaye. So this is what one should follow in the footsteps of previous devotees regarding how to worship the Supreme Lord with the prescribed paraphernalia, or one should offer worship within the heart by reciting the mantra to the Personality of Godhead, who is non-different from the mantra. So here, it is recommended here that even if one cannot arrange to worship the form of the Lord with all paraphernalia, one should simply think about the form of the Lord and mentally offer everything recommended in Shastras. This is what is called Manasa Puja. Yeah, that yeah, if you remember recently, Kadam Karan Maharaj was asked a question. I have deities at home. I have been worshipping them very attentively, but after having children and after my life, family status situation changed, it's become very, very difficult to offer the deity worship at home. So advise what to do. This is a very tough situation, like accepting very high standards and later coming down the standards is not recommended, not advised, not suggested at all. And in this connection, Maharaj was giving but what to do is like he was referring to His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Maharaj, when he was doing his deity worship. He is doing Abhishek, he is doing all this upacharas, 16 upacharas, but he was finishing the whole thing in 1 hour. How? Because he uses a lot of mudras and he meditates. Yeah, he does this manasa puja that it is as good as doing like a full-fledged real bathing, real offering flower, real everything. So that way one may find ways. Here it is recommended. If one cannot arrange to worship the form of the Lord with all recommended paraphernalia, one can simply think about the form of the Lord and mentally offer everything recommended. One can meditate upon offering and chanting the 12-syllable mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Since the mantra and Supreme Personality of Godhead are non-different, one can worship the form of the Lord with the mantra in the absence of physical paraphernalia. The story of a Brahmana who worshipped the Lord within his mind, as related to Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, should be consulted in this connection. I couldn't recollect what was that. If someone can relate to it, can tell. If paraphernalia is not present physically, one can think of the items and offer them to the deity by chanting the mantra. Such are the liberal and potent facilities. Liberal and potent. Liberal and potent. Very important. Facilities in the process of devotional service. I don't know which one was that. I mean, when I read the Nectar of Devotion was quite few years ago. But if someone remembers this, can relate it, share it. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for joining. Are there any things anyone want to contribute, adding? Yes, you are on mute. Omkareshwar, you are talking.
No, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Actually, Ambika was asking something, so I was just answering her. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, she's also doing Bhagavad Katha. No, just joking.
Yes, Prabhuji, she's there. She's there. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. No, you were asking something. I thought, okay. You're asking. You're doing a parallel Bhagavad Katha to Omkareshwar Prabhu.
Actually, I was asking you, have we read this, the Nectar of Devotion? Then he told me, no, we have read the Nectar of Instructions.
Okay.
And he's right now reading the Nectar of Devotion.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean, my memory is not good. I read all the chapters. So, but yeah, because it is so vast, maybe there is a chance that I couldn't pick up that very well.
Prabhuji, I have also not read completely, still started. But Prabhuji, during our DT worship course, Damodar Priya Mataji told one story of a Brahmana for Pancharatri, for this puja, that he did Mansik puja, that he cooked a kheer prasadam, and then in his Mansik, and it was really burning his hand when he touched. So I don't know if it is the same, but
It could be there. It could be. Yeah, I heard about this, what you were saying, but I didn't remember that it was part of the Nectar of Devotion.
Yeah, I also don't remember. Yeah.
I
But if
think
I will share, if I come across this, then I will share. Yeah.
Yes. No, Varsanile Mataji, I think you were reading Nectar of Devotion, right?
No, Prabhuji, but even I also remember one more story in this regard, which was again told by Damodar Priya Mataji, that there was one, I don't know that person was Brahmana or not, but he was very poor and could not do anything. So he even built a temple for the Lord in his mind and started worshipping with all upcharas. Just he used to sit in one place and then think, okay, yes, I'll like cooking also. Everything he was doing in his mind. Also.
Okay. Nice. So, yeah. How instructive is Narad Muni's instruction to Dhruva Maharaj? Very nice.
Prabhuji, they are very, very nectar. Okay, no words, Prabhuji. It's really, I think, very, very, exalted. And
I mean, I see
practical life, actually. Yes.
I see Prabhupada purports so valuable that just imagine, like, we are crossing ice surface, which is very, very slippery. Yeah, it's very difficult that we can slip very easily to dhyana. We can go to all these kind of processes. We are talking about Dhruva Maharaj pastime, where it's all about Ashtanga, where it's also about Ashtanga yoga and all those things. We may start thinking, oh, this is very important. Dhruva Maharaj is a great devotee, so we should also start doing all these things. But Prabhupada's purport help us to really navigate through this terrain of, which could be lead us to lack of clarity or confusion, or think, oh, let's do it, and we may slip. So carefully, with he's catching our attention carefully while we are crossing through this pastime.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I'm thinking if any impersonalist is writing a purport for this chapter, he will completely go in different direction. Completely. So actually, I met one impersonalist doing Kriya Yoga, and I talked with him about why don't you. He was talking about his philosophy. I said, please read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's very important. Why you skip Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? Why don't you read? It's from Vyasadeva. Then what he said, Prabhuji, he said, yes, I will read Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, but I am waiting for one writer who is writing right now. That I will read only his purports, because he is writing now. I am waiting for his book. So he is waiting for an impersonalist actually, who will then give his flavor. He will completely satisfy his desire of that everything is impersonal, and so people read. They wait for the author. That
yeah, maybe may he be empowered to bring a detour and get to Bhakti Marg properly. You never know, right? Yeah. So when we come across like I was yesterday when I was talking with my friend colleague, he's in Uttarakhand, so he was saying this place is sinking, because in that
yes,
connection, when I came across that there is a Narsingadev temple there, Narsingadev temple where people pray, and this was installed by Adi Shankaracharya. When Lord Shankaracharya was there, he installed the deity for the auspiciousness that this place is not ordinary. This is called Devi Mat or Dev Mat. What is it called? Joshi Mat, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, Joshi Mat. So this place is empowered, and when Adi Shankaracharya came, he also installed Narsingadev. So sometimes I have this question, like when Lord Adi Shankaracharya is installing all personal deities, right? So this shows that the Lord is personal, not only impersonal, not just impersonalism, but also understand that Lord has a personal form and to be worshipped in a personal form. So when such situation comes, I think maybe people in Advaita, they park this question aside. I think they say, no, this cannot be. Maybe the philosophy is one thing, and Lord is doing something maybe as a compromise, that to connect the Vaishnavas also part of it. All these kind of misinterpretations can come.
Yeah. Actually, Prabhuji, they interpret that when Lord is coming on this earth, when he's taking avatara, he's under the influence of Maya. So he's not the supreme at that time. He's under Maya.
Yeah. And Haripasha, the Prabhu was also giving some references, that what we say that Bhajagovindam, and some references which is telling they also accept Vishnu, they also accept, but they do not accept him as supreme. They do not accept him as a Lord. They see him as a kind of a normal, one of all the demigods. With that understanding, they will write Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, actually, when we read the Prabhupada books, Prabhupada says that Adi Shankaracharya has approved or agreed that Narayana Sarvam Itam Iti. So he has written his purport, this Shankaracharya Bhasya, in which Shankaracharya has written that Narayana is the supreme. So Prabhupada always give this example. Narayana
Param.
Yeah. So but I don't know how then they consider him under Maya. This is the problem. Then there the problem starts.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they have some other two supreme positions. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, I don't read so much, so I cannot comment it much.
Yes.
But doesn't mean that there are others. There are, I mean, like for example, scholars. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has so much material available for people who want to understand deep. Yes, Gaurav Bhagwan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you Prabhuji for whole narration. Prabhuji, I had the description that Narad Muni says about the Lord's Roop, and Narad Muni can travel anywhere in the universe, in the spiritual world, and he is also the spiritual master of the Ved Vyas. So how he is describing the Lord's supreme the form as the four-handed.
Yeah, because he also has 400 form. No? In Vaikuntha planets, Vishnu has 400 form.
So he is worshipable deity is Narayana. That's why he is.
He's referring to him when he was saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he's referring to that. Okay, Vasudeva state. Yeah, we remember na in one of the purports we came across that Vasudeva means eternal spiritual. What is it? Forgot now. Sthiti. Transcendental. Yeah. The meaning of Vasudeva is that. So one who attains that, it's not like Vasudeva. Here we are referring to the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva position. Yeah, this is what. And yeah, the Lord appears in different Vaikuntha planets in form of Narayana with 400 and all. So he's referring that. And we also know that the confidential Goloka darshan. Yeah. So we come from the references of different Upanishads and Puranas, and also from Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma, we get more further insight of the Golok. So
yes.
Yeah, more confidential for more. But because we are fortunate that we are in this Kali Yuga where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, that's why we have also the knowledge that okay, above the Vaikuntha planets there is also this Goloka and then the Lord in the form. So that's why that is also one of the reasons, right, where we see Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya where it says Vishnu is the ultimatum, the supreme, and from him only Lord Krishna came. This is the understanding still goes with the Sri Sampradaya. In spite, they also accept sometimes that Krishna has declared in Bhagavad Gita, but they see that okay, we see that it is Vishnu who appeared. Even when we go through this Krishna book, right, or the 10th canto, we see that Lord has appeared with 4 hands and later took a 2-hand form. So it appears like as if like okay, Krishna has appeared from Vishnu.
And Prabhuji, when we read these prayers from the gopis, they many times say that you are the original personality, and many Lakshmis are serving you. Whatever the Lakshmis are serving you on your chest and so on. But it is not. They are not telling then about the supreme position of Radha Krishna and themselves in the Golok Dham.
No. Yeah. They themselves with their internal potency cover their own identity, right? Yeah, so that they can enjoy the pastimes. Just imagine that if Radharani, hey, I am supreme, if Krishna, you are supreme, and then there is only awe and reverence. This is what we see in the Aishwarya Bhav. To release the conjugal loving pastimes, that's why under the Yogamaya spell they cover that, hey, And this is also what we see, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Supreme Lord, he himself is accepting the position of a devotee.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, Omkareshwar, you want to add something?
No, Prabhuji, no, I don't want to add anything. I just want to. There was a different topic actually, but after finishing this, yes.
Okay.
And Prabhuji, one more thing that did Dhruv Maharaj take Narad Muni as his spiritual master, or he took his instruction as some sadhu?
No, he accepted him as spiritual master. That itself is, yeah. So if one, there is this one thing, yeah. So Lord has, yeah, because Dhruv Maharaj from in India, he was desperate. Yeah? He wanted to get something. And he was instructed by his mother, go to the forest and take shelter of the Lord. So he wanted to take shelter of the Lord. So that's why the Lord who is present inside as Chaitya Guru has manifested in the form of the spiritual master of, in the form of Narada Muni. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after hearing, he's asking, yeah. So whom are you going to ask? Yeah, a sadhu. Even if you're asking, yeah, when you're accepting him as your guru, then only you'll ask, right? It's not an opinion chat that's going on, like a poll that is going on that you can survey and get something. It's not like today world, it's more like that. But here he's saying he appreciates that, hey, you are, yeah, he knows Narada Muni is son of Lord Brahma.
Mm-hmm.
And he also knows that he's a great Bhagavat. He also, he can see that a devotee can only bless him with devotion.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Prabhuji. And is it like also that who will not take the shelter of Narad Muni, as if one gets opportunity to accept him as this spiritual master?
I didn't understand.
So as Dhruv Maharaj, maybe he knows Narad Muni very well, and if he gets the opportunity to get Narad Muni as his spiritual master, why he will not? So maybe that may be also the reason, or
I didn't understand. Sorry. What could be the reason?
That because Dhruv Maharaj knows that Narad Muni is is great devotee of Lord. So why? So that thing made him to accept him as spiritual master, not just as sadhu purush. Because anyone who knows the Narad Muni's position, he would definitely.
Good question. I don't know what Dhruva Maharaj already had experience of Narad Muni as a spiritual master to some. We don't know. So that could be, if he has past knowledge, he would accept. But here we see that being a devotee, one who is doing achar and prachar, is an acharya. So what Narad Muni was doing is doing prachar of the holy name. Wherever he goes, the glories of the Lord he sings. And achar, it's not that he's only doing it, he's also following it. That puts him in the position of obvious a spiritual master, acharya. But whether did he think that way and approached, I don't know. Maybe someone can tell.
Yes, so Narad Muni gave this mantra because he accepted him as his guru.
Yeah, because he asked for instruction, and out of compassion, the spiritual master, I mean, out of compassion, the sadhu, both are valid, gave the instruction. By doing that, he has formally sealed the relationship between a disciple and a guru.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
And Omkareshwar Prabhu, nothing to add or ask?
No problem, nothing to add. Actually, Prabhuji, because there was in purports, the dham is glorified here Mathura Dham and all the ghats and all the vanas, 12 vanas. So actually, I was reading about the Dham during our Vrindavan Yatra, and I come across a very nice information or wisdom about Mathura Dham. Actually, Mathura Dham is very, very ancient. This was written highly, like is one of the most ancient place on the earth. It's not that just a city is few years or few hundred years. So it was written that when Lord Varadev, because there was also a description from Varadev, so I remember that time, when Lord Varadev lifted the earth to save from Hiranyakshu, then that time the point of contact of Varadev with the earth, that particular point, that is the epicenter, and that's the Mathura. Actually, it was written. Yeah. So it is a highly glory, very high glory of Mathura. Yes.
Very nice point. Yeah. This can also help us answer. Na? Someone will ask, hey, why this is only in India? Why this is only there? Yeah. Why it's not in America? It's not in Africa. Yeah. This is a nice point. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Shweta, sorry.
Sorry, Prabhu. Yes. Yeah. Maybe someone else is asking. And second, I have also another very nice story about a Gaudiya Vaishnava Brahmana. Prabhuji, actually, you mentioned here Pratyahara, that we should not tempt for the food, and we should not make bhoga just for our fulfilling our desires, and we should satisfied with whatever we have. So there was one very, very great sadhu from Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition in Vrindavan, and his name is Pandit Maharaj, Pandit Ramakrishna Maharaj, or Krishna Ram, Pandit Maharaj. He's called as Pandit Maharaj. He's one of the Bhaktmal, like the top 200 devotees of the Lord. So in India, and it was said that everybody from all the sampradayas, from all the Vaishnava sampradayas, the great rishis, Muni, the saints and Vaishnavas are coming to Vrindavan to take advice from him, to get his idea, his wisdom words. And so he was during the time of Savai Jai Singh, the Maharaj Savai Jai Singh. His father was the Rajguru of the Savai Jai Singh, and he was this sadhu was playing with marble stones with Govinda Devji in the temple, because this temple, Govinda Devji temple, is in the premises of Savai Jai Singh. So about this sadhu, he was living in Vrindavan in a kuti. And Prabhuji, about this Pratyahara, this is a very nice example about this sadhu. So there were other sadhus. They used to have they kept some silbatta. I think Varsa Mataji may know, it's a local word from there, from the region. Silbatta, like you make chutney, you make some spices, you make something like there is a stone plate, flat stone, and then there is a stone. Then you rub the things. Like there was no grinder, that time, no grinder, juicer, mixer. So they used to have this silbatta in North India. They call it like stone. Varsamata, you remember this word, silbatta?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. We have in India still. Yeah.
Yes, and it is so Prabhuji. Why I'm telling due to Pratyahara, this sadhu, this Gaudiya Vaishnava sadhu, he made distance from all other sadhus of Vrindavan because they have this silbatta, and he said, if we have a silbatta, then we will make nice dishes. We will cook we will tempt for eating nice things, and I don't want it. I want to just get bhiksha from Brijbasis. I will go one time, and whatever I get, I will eat that, and I will not go and indulge in the cooking and all these activities, because that time there was nobody living in Vrindavan. It was a jungle. It was just a one, and there was only kutiyas, and they used to go to Brijbasis to beg. To get the bhiksha food, and so he left the association of all those sadhus who has a silbatta. So this is kind of a devotion the sadhus had, actually, the purity level.
I came across, thanks. This reminds me another thing. When we went few years back to India, to Vrindavan, we went to this Kusum Sarovar. Our guide, he took us to a devotee, or actually, we know this place where Uddhava, next to Kusum Sarovar, there is Uddhav.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mandir, I think. I don't know what is the name now. I forgot. There's a whole area, and there is one sadhu who lives Yeah, of course he was ISKCON, and but he was not living in Vrindavan. He started living only this place. What he did is, he used to not cook for himself. This I'm telling few years, not even 100 years back, or yeah, I'm just telling few years. Yeah. So he used to do what is, he used to do madhukari. Yeah, so he used to go into the village, yeah, where he used to collect some alms, and with that whatever comes he used to eat. And what was he serving? The whole place. He used to make sure that the whole place is clean. Yeah, not even a single blade of grass or a leaf, yeah, was there. He used to make the whole area such clean. He used to not walk on his feet, but he used to be on his knees while cleaning all this whole big area. And after a certain time he started feeling that this madhukari is not good, because he started seeing Vrajavasis. They were so much they have fridges, they have TVs. So he was seeing that, okay, if he is eating from, yeah, people who are affected by all these things, it's also not good. So he even stopped collecting alms from them. So he used to just if someone is giving something, he used to eat on that basis. He was living even more uh, yeah, renounced life. Yeah. So he, and that too, he's not an Indian. Yeah, he's even a foreigner, but he has such a great taste for yeah. So he I mean, when we visited him, he was already many years. I think you know this Sundar Nityananda Prabhu in Vrindavan. He's the guide you may have seen in Facebook, so many. So he was our first guide when we went to Vrindavan. So he took us to him, and yeah, he was very simple. Only one gamcha around him, nothing upper covering, uh, but living a very very austere life. Yeah, and that too he has read. So I mean, before coming into this, yeah, before he came to Kusum Sarovar and stayed at this Uddhava place, he read very scrutinizingly scriptures. All the Gaudiya Vaishnava scriptures he read very thoroughly. So when we're reading, when we are hearing, that also gives us this taste of leading a pratyahara life. Yeah, so that's what. Yeah, ahara. Yeah, so slowly we appreciate. If Lord wants it, I can make it. Uh, it's not that I want to leave everything. No, if Lord likes it, yeah. So sometimes I really like making halwa for the Lord. So why? Because I know that, okay, Jagannath ji likes halwa, and then I started seeing how many kinds of halwas can we make. There are 6 to 7 kinds of halwas we can make. One was the suji. We can make from atta. We can make from loki. We can make from, what is it called, pumpkin, ash gourd. So many. Okay. That way we can develop. Okay. Yeah, it's not that I want to taste it. At least, yeah. So there are so many ways we can offer to the Lord.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Shashwati Mataji, your hand is up so long. Hope it's not paining.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, I have a question that this mantra from Narad Muni, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, is this like there is a place for this mantra for like ordinary people in normal life or no?
So the thing is, if your question is it for everyone? Yeah.
Yes.
I'll leave
and
it.
what instance people can use? Yes.
Yeah. So if you can wait maybe 2 more sessions or even 3, I don't know how much time it will take. That will make it clear, because this is exactly Prabhupada purports are explaining us to get to this point. In short nutshell, I can say that it's not for everyone, because this mantra should be spoken into the ear, not public. Yeah. And yeah, when we talk about in Sri Sampradaya, we come across Ramanujacharya when his guru was giving him this mantra, or was it Om Namo Narayana Namah, I think. Yeah. So yeah, these mantras are not for this age. Yeah, these mantras are for different age, for different kind of purity standards, etc., and for different kind of groups. Yeah, so only brahmanas, all these things, and also not only brahmanas who have so much submissiveness, all these things when we don't have in Kali Yuga, unfortunately. Yeah, this is not. And when we are not even comparing this with Hare Krishna mantra, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Lord himself, is telling, why to again think of something else? Yeah, and Hare Krishna mantra is the most potent because the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself is present in the holy name. And it's also not only, there is no reservations, restrictions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has inaugurated publicly, going to every village where everyone is there. It's not only to Brahmanas, he was saying to sing, to engage in the congregational chanting of it. That is short answer, but from the Leela we will know more.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you. Hare Krishna.
I don't know, I mean, did it at least answer for now some, or?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I mean, you can be open, yeah, so that you can tell me, and then I can also start precisely pinpoint those in the purports where Prabhupada is mentioning.
No, Prabhuji, because I heard this thing, and sometimes this mantra also comes automatically. I don't know when, maybe like offering food or something, like when I am not directly offering, maybe outside or something. Sometimes it came to, this mantra came to me now. I don't know why, and that's why I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, there is no harm. There is no harm, but we already know, right? Without Guru Upadesha. Yeah. What is the potency Prabhupada has clearly mentioned?
Yes.
If we are hearing somewhere and if it's coming, if it, that is nice. We are glorifying. We see this as a glorification of the Lord. Yeah. But engaging ourselves in meditation and as a sadhaka, we take to the shelter of the spiritual master who is giving us guidance, what to do, which mantra to speak, which mantra to recite.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Adirasa Prabhu, last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. 1 second.
Samyak course.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So when I heard these examples given by Om Kasha Prabhu and you about this Pratyahara, I was thinking that we read that there are two kinds of devotees, one who is doing bhajan only and one who is like going in public and spreading. So this is like those devotees who do bhajan, yeah, and absorb in Lord. So the mood is same, Prabhuji. Is the mood is same in all, in both kinds of devotees, or is it different?
Okay. So are you asking what is the mood between Bhajananandi and Goshtanandis?
Yes, and does the Lord pleased in the same way by the service, or is it different? So I was trying to think.
Same way, I don't know. Yeah, but Lord is pleased. I know that. Is it same way or not? I don't know. And when we talk about the Bhajananandis and Goshtanandis, in one of the purport, Prabhupada was mentioning, right, for the best service one can do is preach the word of God, the name of God. So we see that even Narad Muni is, there are so many yogis and devotees also who are engaged in worshipping, serving the Lord. We see that, for example, gopis are not going and preaching, right? Gopis are not going and preaching, they are engaged in serving the Lord, and the Lord is very much pleased, isn't it? The topmost devotee of the Lord is the gopis, and we are following them. But again, then when we go in this yuga, we see that gopis, manjaris, they appeared as Goswamis. And what are they doing? What are they telling? They are preaching. It's not that, okay, they were only engaged in service. So we see that if one is going for a preaching, doesn't mean that he is not serving the Lord, or he is not. So we see that, for example, when Indra Maharaj also, in spite of having a very hectic preaching program, he is also doing his daily deity worship. It's not that if one does this, then is not doing the other. So we see that in the Ghostanandis, the one who is preaching, he wants that not only he, but also everyone around him are also getting the message of the Lord. This messenger role is also very, very important and is also appreciated by the Lord. And at the same time, Lord is also appreciating the service of one who is offering by maintaining his tirtha properly. This is also one of the instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the Goswamis, right? To excavate, to discover Vrindavan temples, bring them back to glories. But it was not the only instruction. There was also instruction to propagate Krishna consciousness by routinizingly presenting or reading the scriptures. Apu Prabhu, any clear references on this?
Actually,
Yeah.
this Pastime was on the totally the different platform. Platforming is totally different line. I mean, comparing will not be a good thing because it is actually depends on the one's odhikar and one's nature and how they select. Suppose like under Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj also there was some Bhajananandi was there. Was not active in teaching but was used to do only the bhajan like Krishna Bhavaji. So, but it is not that everyone should have to be, I mean, Goshanandi, no one can be bhajan. It's not like that. It's like depends on one nature and the odhikar. But ultimately, in both ways, actually, they both can actually please Krishna. Because when they do bhajan also, they also do the serve. They also serve actually the leelas or in the pastimes. And why actually Goshanandi nowadays is more prominent? Because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj personally actually I mean, tell that in this Kali Yuga, Bhajanananda section is not that much favorable for us. I mean, seclusion bhajan, which he used to mention, Nirjan bhajan, seclusion bhajan. Bhakti Jindal Saraswati Maharaj boldly preach against it. He told that whoever do this, they actually goes for different cheating techniques and other things. Suppose before actually all the rishis were the Bhajanandi, people used to go there to take the shiksha from them in the forest. But nowadays, no one goes there. So nowadays, that's why it is better to whoever the gurus are, they have to come out and to attract the people through their teachings or character. But these two sections is totally different. I think comparison will not be justifiable. These two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, both ways can please the Lord. And when you are saying this, I think when we take from Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we see that there is also a tendency for Bhajananandis to go sidetracked more into this Babaji's also, right?
Yes, actually, I think before Bhaktivinoda Thakur, actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur also didn't teach so much. Actually, after Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj only, we actually more prominent in the Krishnandi. Before all the Acharyas our, it's mostly actually Bhajanandi. I mean, they didn't come out so much. Even later stage also Bhaktivinoda Thakur didn't came out on the Vrindavan. He was in the fully absorbed in the Bhajanandi. But I mean, Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur also actually initially was Bhajanandi only. But later to teach us that how to preach the Gauriya Siddhanta, he became actually Goshanandi. So I mean, it is totally depends on whatever I'm telling. So it totally depends on the one nature and the circumstances. I think this circumstance what is important and what is needed to preach the Krishna and Guru.
Yeah, thanks, Apu Prabhu. But I mean, Adirasa Prabhu, I think there are some references which emphasize that spreading of Lord's names and glories are considered a great service. But in a comparative scale, I don't know whether Lord is pleased more with that or this. And even Apu Prabhu was also mentioning now that, so it cannot be put on comparison scale.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, correct. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah. I'm not able to recollect. I mean, even already in these last 3-4 cantos, we came across references where such a glorification of devotees is mentioned who spreads the word of Lord. I'm not able to pick specific one. And of course, we are nowadays reading Prabhupada Leelamrit, where we see how much Prabhupada is emphasizing that rather than temples, what is more important. Yeah.
Because I think in Gita there is one verse is there where Krishna is declaring that whoever tell about me that to the others is the most dear to me. I think there is one verse in Gita. Who was talking about me, who is tell about me to the, I mean, Gura Tattva.
You are saying Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta, Madhyaji Namas, no?
There is a different verse which says, "Who preach my confidential knowledge to everyone is my dearmost devotee." But in that case, Prabhuji, actually Bhajananand is also preaching, because they are preaching by their achar, and they become Paramahansa, and then they are preaching like our Goswamis preach.
Yeah,
they were Paramahansa.
But they are not explicitly preaching. So they are just focused on their own service to the Lord. Yeah, and not service explicit of bringing people to the Lord. So that is a slight difference. Both are engaged in service, and what kind of service the Goshtani is that to do katha, yeah, to do the Shravanam, Kirtanam, and all this, yeah. So not the only Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. So yeah, and now this could also help us, Adirasa Prabhu, that Navavida Bhakti. So we see that Prabhupada in purport clearly mentions any one of these leads to perfection. So it's not like, okay, one is low or one is up.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Guruji, yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it was very nice. Thank you very much. I tried to stop at 7 or 8:30, but it just was 10 as always, right? So I think you guys already are very much tuned to it. But nevertheless, I'll try to stop at 1 o'clock after 1 hour, so that it will stop at least in 1.5 hours. पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ग्रंथ श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.